We're going to build a dish where warm, crispy roasted vegetables and chickpeas meet a sticky, sweet glaze. The goal here is efficiency and replication. By the end of this process, you will have produced 2 to 3 identical, high-quality meal prep portions that hold up perfectly in the fridge. Before we start cutting, we need to establish 2 strict prerequisites. First, your oven needs to be preheated to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Second, exactly 1 cup of your base grain, whether that's quinoa or brown rice, must already be fully cooked and waiting. If you skip these steps, your timing will fall apart. In culinary execution, strict preparation is the only variable that separates a soggy, uneven failure from a perfectly structured harvest bowl. Looking at this cross-section of our workstation, you'll see a simple damp paper towel placed between the countertop and the cutting board. This creates friction, locking the board in place so it won't slip while you're working with a sharp knife. To break down the zucchini, red bell pepper, and small red onion, curl your fingers back into a claw grip. This technique tucks your fingertips safely away from the blade as you slice through the vegetables. Now let's look at the primary protein, 1 15-ounce can of chickpeas. After draining and rinsing them, you must roll them thoroughly in a clean kitchen towel to extract as much surface moisture as possible. If you leave water on the exterior of these chickpeas, the oven heat will spend its energy evaporating that liquid. The chickpeas will steam in their own moisture, and they will never develop a crisp exterior. If you want to adjust the macronutrients of this dish, you can easily swap out the chickpeas for a block of extra firm tofu. The protocol remains very similar. Mechanically press the water out of the tofu block, slice it into uniform cubes, and drop it straight into the exact same prep workflow. Whether you use chickpeas or tofu, removing the water clears the path for the Maillard reaction. That chemical reaction is what turns pale ingredients brown and generates deep, savory flavors. With the ingredients dry, toss the protein and the chopped vegetables in olive oil, salt, pepper, and a half teaspoon of smoked paprika. This overhead diagram demonstrates the most common roasting error, overcrowding. If you pack everything onto one pan, the steam gets trapped. By dividing the ingredients across 2 separate baking sheets, you ensure hot air can physically circulate around every individual piece. Place both sheets into the 425-degree oven. The total thermal exposure required here is exactly 20 to 25 minutes. You cannot leave them unattended for the full duration. Halfway through that timer, pull the pans out and flip the ingredients. This guarantees symmetrical heat distribution across all sides. When the time is up, you're looking for specific visual cues. The chickpeas should be slightly shrunken and visibly browned, and the edges of the zucchini and bell pepper should carry dark caramelized marks. By giving the ingredients physical space on the baking sheet, you allow the oven's airflow to rapidly evaporate surface moisture. That airflow dictates the final crunch of the dish. While the vegetables roast, we build the binding agent. In a small pan, combine vegan honey, soy sauce, olive oil, apple cider vinegar, minced garlic, fresh grated ginger, and your spices. If you don't have vegan honey, this split screen shows your 2 best alternatives. On the left, maple syrup offers a thick, dark, and opaque structure. On the right, agave nectar flows much thinner and is highly translucent. The maple syrup will inject an earthy, rich caramel note into the final glaze, while the agave acts as a clean, neutral sweetener that steps back and lets the garlic and ginger dominate the profile. Bring this mixture to a simmer, but keep the heat strictly controlled. High temperatures will aggressively scorch the delicate sugar compounds and turn the entire glaze bitter. Watch the pan closely for 3 to 5 minutes. You'll see the texture shift. The rapid, watery bubbles will consolidate into a slow, glossy simmer. When it coats the back of a spoon, cut the heat. That controlled reduction process evaporates the excess water, leaving behind the concentrated, sticky adhesion that will bind the entire bowl together. Pull the fully roasted vegetables and crispy chickpeas from the oven and immediately transfer them into a large, centralized mixing bowl. Pour your reduced glaze directly over the top. By tossing the ingredients while they are still radiating heat, you open up their cellular structure, allowing them to rapidly absorb the liquid and achieve a uniform coating. This diagram outlines the batch processing architecture. For step 1, fill the bottom 30% of 3 identical containers with your pre-cooked quinoa or brown rice. For step 2, distribute the fully coated mixture evenly, filling the remaining 70% of the volume. Make sure to scrape the sides of the mixing bowl so that every drop of the freshly glazed mixture makes it over the foundational grain layers. By establishing this assembly line, you capture the effort of a single cooking session and lock it into an automated pipeline of meals for the days ahead. Survey your workstation. You now have 3 identical, sealed containers. They are ready to be eaten immediately or stacked in cold storage for the week. When you're ready to eat, you can introduce a few secondary flavor modifiers. A squeeze of fresh lime juice directly over the bowl will cut right through the sweetness with a sharp, bright acidity. Next, a precise drizzle of tahini introduces a lipid-based creamy contrast that balances the sticky, savory glaze on the vegetables. Finally, drop a pinch of sesame seeds and some fresh green onions over the top for texture. Grab a fork and dig in. You eliminated the moisture. You controlled the airflow. You monitored the sugar reduction. By applying those 3 techniques, you've secured the architecture to customize your nutrition every single week.